Hi Libra, welcome to your reason, season, or lifetime reading. Everything you need to know about this reading is in the description box below. We'll get started here. Be willing to express love. When we express love, we begin to receive more love. So I think this is a call for opening up, being approachable, being, in some cases, being vulnerable. Always fun, right? Cards everywhere. Four of Pentacles, the Moon, the Sun reversed, and Eight of Wands. Oof. All right, we could be hunkering down for the future because we don't know what's going to happen, but we're expecting something. Three of Cups, cause for celebration. All right, out with friends, having a good time, enjoying life, contentment. Maybe you have a creative burst. Maybe you're involved in your community, dating, group dating sessions, being open, meeting friends, that sort of thing. Maybe you met someone in a group situation and you're ready to start seeing them by yourself. Okay, so we have the Fool reversed, Justice reversed, Ten of Swords reversed, Judgment. Wow, this is totally talking about meeting someone after the darkness. King of Pentacles, Five of Wands reversed, Hermit, Eight of Pentacles reversed, Nine of Swords reversed. All right, I will clarify where it makes sense to do so. So we've got with this person, and I'm looking at this as having been with a person. That's why we're questioning, was it for a reason, a season, or a lifetime? Whether it's worth fighting for, giving up, that sort of thing. No new beginning here. No. Maybe it was even rocky from the get-go or very, very early on, but yeah, no new beginning, no fresh start. You've gone your separate ways. And the challenge is to get over feeling like that justice was not served. This could be you, Libra, and you're just, there might be bitterness there because you feel like you got the raw end of the stick, that it wasn't right. And because it wasn't right, you feel like you haven't been able to move on. You haven't been able to have that fresh start. You feel like you're not open. You don't want to move forward. And this is you solo, whereas sometimes with the Death card, it's like you're typically, at least when I read it, it's speaking of being paired with somebody or intertwined. This is you ready at the starting gate, but you're just not feeling like taking those steps forward. You're feeling discouraged, lack of faith. You don't want to take that leap of faith. You don't have any positive outlook yet for the future because you're probably just feeling like you didn't get, justice was not served in your case. There's a non-acknowledgement of someone who did something wrong and they won't own up to it. Very frustrating. Your advice is, sorry, getting over it. Your advice is moving on and being, just recovering from this and being open again and opening back up and a new beginning. The cycle is complete. Things, don't get mad, but things happen the way things happen the way they should have happened. And this is saying that it's your job to recover from that, and in recovering that, you start anew, you get a second chance, a lease on life. So the positive steps that you're going to take forward are going to be when you start recovering from it, when you start getting over it. It's not saying, well, you're in your own way. And I say that sarcastically, and I mean it that sarcastically, because the last thing you want to hear when you're in the throes of anger and bitterness, well, if you want to feel that way, go ahead. Oh, yeah. Come a little closer and say that. Let me be mad. Let me be frustrated. But when you're ready, this new beginning's not going to happen until you make the turn and you kind of lay down the swords and you start to recover from what happened. And that's going to happen when it happens, and then that's when you'll have, I don't want to say the inner calling, but that's when you will feel ready to start anew again, when you're, dare I say, feel reborn. But this is like it's just starting out fresh, new, and innocent. No, there's no starting out. I've seen some ish, and I'm bitter, and I'm angry. This fresh new start will be like a wizened new start. This will be after you've gone through the dark night, and you come out better for it, and you know yourself, and you know your limits and what you're capable of, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't, what your calling is, you will have a sense of purpose and know who you are, instead of just like, oh, yay, off into the wild blue yonder. No, that's different. Your partner, so this is somebody who's probably pretty solid. We got Taurus, Leo, or Capricorn. Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn here. Pretty solid. If it's not them, it's somebody who has that big daddy energy. They're large and in charge, probably with physical property, physical assets, material wealth. Very established, very disciplined. Probably runs a business. Very trustworthy, long-standing, like ethics, business, that sort of thing. But their advice is to, sorry, I shouldn't say they are. I saw this and I'm like, oh no, this is, stop it with the fighting. Just stop trying to win, or just stop with the pettiness and the competitiveness, and the everything isn't a competition. And that this person needs to realize that they have everything they need. They need to realize that they are capable, that they are enough, that they are somebody trustworthy, they are somebody steadfast, they are somebody that is disciplined and can provide and can commit and can be stable. They need to be comfortable with that, because for whatever reason, and I know it sounds weird, but they don't recognize that this is how they are, or that it's okay to be this way. I don't know what that means, but there it is. And they need to, it's almost like they need to come into their own, so they're not nitpicking at everybody else for their stuff and trying to manage and control everybody else. They are okay single and by themselves and with their own stuff. And they don't need to consult or grab or take from anybody else. So that's the advice for your partner, that, realize who you are and what you're made of, and stop nitpicking everybody else. This could be Virgo, but your lesson is to learn to listen to your inner voice, or to make time to go inward and listen to yourself, to do some soul searching, instead of just kind of reacting first. And I honestly, if you're angry about justice not being served, who wants to go in and listen? I mean, honestly, that's, and it's not just about with this person. I mean, it could be just with this person, but for some of you, it might be just, you always feel like you've just gotten the raw end of the stick with everything in your life. And so it can be really hard to sit with that, to go quiet, to go inward, to sit and listen to that. But that's what it's saying to do, is that you need to be, and I think that's what is speaking to this, is you need to recover, you need to forgive, you need to get it all out of your system, because it's holding you back from starting over. And from that new beginning, from your calling, from everything turning around and getting right in your life. It has to do with going inward and kind of doing some soul searching and figuring out your culpability, what your partner's was, or just whoever else wronged you in your life, like looking at it with balanced objectivity instead of bitterness and anger and all that. How many of us don't do that, right? Your partner's lesson is they need to value They need to value other people's contributions. They need to stop being so dang perfectionistic and nitpicky and petty. And it's almost like this is somebody that says they want to work with other people and this and that, but they either sabotage it or they just go their own way, and they do it better than ever. There's a lot of competition here. There's nothing wrong with competition, but when it's used to undermine or to be, you know what I mean? Like just be who you are. Just be this. If you want to do your own thing, have your own whatever, just do that. Don't sit there and try to be inclusive and then nitpick the living dog crap out of everybody, and be petty and competitive and perfectionistic and hot and cold and bad. Just get that balance, get that steady rhythm. Just come into your own already, for goodness sakes. Own what you are, own what you're not. Here we go. All right, a high horse. But we have this over here, thinking about going out and celebrating. And then we've got being willing and being open. So maybe you're one step ahead of me. I'm sitting here harping on, work through it, power through it, just, cry and be angry and whatever. Maybe you're already there, because we've got that celebration happening here. Community, time with friends, joy. So the outcome. Okay, so as far as with this person, I don't know. This feels like this feels like you're already separated, but you're still kind of attached to this person, or at least that time with them in the experience. And I don't think there's a new beginning with this person. I think they were in your life for a reason or a season. I don't think it's a lifetime. I think this person kind of showed up to double down on you needing to listen to yourself. Or do you see the X's and the ones right there? Just going inward and soul searching and listening to yourself, and you acting from a place where you're not going along with what everybody else says. You're doing what you think is right, and you're thinking first before talking or doing. This, I think if this is not addressed, I think it's going to lead to more mental preoccupation. I think this needs to be, I think however you feel needs to get out, not be kept inside. Maybe that's what's going on with friends is about, but this could be one of two things. It could be letting go of all of that sort of despair and anxiety and just machinating about that situation, letting it go because you've let this person go. But if you still stay attached to it, the converse is true, or the reverse is true, where it could be really keeping you up at night and a real source of anxiety and just, anger and mental anguish for you. So I don't, it's not showing here a new beginning. If anything, you're casting a net, or at least you're considering others now and starting to open up again and to date. So, yeah. All right, Libra. I hope that was helpful. Don't waste any more time on this. You go inward and think about you. Start plumbing the depths. Start kind of balancing things out so that you can feel like you're in charge of your own life again. Feel like you know what you want to do and know who you are. Don't let somebody like this, even though they might seem like they're, pretty powerful and this and that, whatever, you still get to be in charge of your own ship. Nobody gets to do that. Your ship. It's funny, and I keep thinking, oh yeah, there's that Venus retrograde, because I keep thinking, gosh, all of this stuff about separation and someone coming into their own, like what? That's been like a theme for the past 6 weeks. And then, what was it? October 5th is when the Venus retrograde started. So I guess it was, for a while, it just seemed like the magicians were showing up all over the place. Magician reversed or temperance reversed all the time. Now it's more about everybody having issues with personal power or being able to be who they are in a relationship, that sort of thing. Receive healing, yes. That's part of that rebirth or being reborn. Come full circle, regeneration, healing. Right, Libra. Matona. Sacred space. Create an altar or visit a power place to connect with the divine. Okay, I think in this sense, well, that's certainly, awesome to do. I think it's talking about this, is going within and listening and connecting with the divine. Okay? If you can't travel or go, this is the same thing. Start listening to yourself. Start going inward, maybe meditating, doing something where you can get a grip on how you feel, like get a clear picture of how you feel and what you think you should do, instead of just going, I don't want to think about that right now. Or because if you don't, then you'll go along with what everybody else is doing just for the sake of being a part of something or for contributing, that sort of thing. Your ship will get commandeered. This is about that waiting for the right moment and having that patience and solitude and just everything being so perfectly timed. But there's a caution that don't be too scrutinizing. Like, don't wait too long for that perfect moment to come along, lest you lose the opportunity or missing a sign. So this is about being discerning and patiently waiting for the right time, but being aware when it does happen. So honestly, this is like, no pressure. Just make sure that you get the right moment when you're supposed to, right? Yeah, no pressure. No, this is just having patience. I think when there's bitterness, that happens too, is like we're just impatient because we're tired of being angry, but we're angry that we're angry. I mean, it's whole, so just go within, have patience, be kind to yourself, and go within. It all starts from there. Okay, Libra, I hope this was helpful. It's kind of all over the place, but there's a lot of, it speaks to a lot of inner work, or there's a lot of depth to what you're going through. So I wish you luck. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope to see you in the next reading. Take care.